Hello and welcome. Welcome to your Saturday afternoon Mindful Vinyasa class. My name is Nina. Welcome to those of you who are online, at home, on demand, and to those of you who are in the studio. Let's have a nice mindful movement class today. Make sure you have a few props around. Blocks are always good, or whatever you substitute blocks for. I'm sure most people nowadays have a lot of yoga props at home. So we're going to start with a gentle meditation, meditating on your breath. So you can lie down if you want, stay seated upright, close your eyes, and just bring your awareness to your breath for the next few minutes. So just gently listening to your inhalation, listening to your exhalation. Make sure your teeth and tongue are relaxed apart, shoulders soft, jaw relaxed. And just listen to the rhythm of your breath. Listen to the soft flow of the inhalation. And then listen to the sound and the softness of your next exhalation without controlling anything, just breathing naturally. Breathing in, breathing out. Try to breathe into the back of your body as well, expanding into the lungs, diaphragm, the sides, the rib cage. So the whole body is breathing here. Whole body breathing. And bring your awareness very gently now back into the room, opening up your eyes, nice and slow, just easing back. And we'll start in child's pose. So child's pose is on your knees and your heels. And you can use your props here if you want to. You can bring a block down to rest your forehead on if you want. Arms in front, arms behind, soft shoulders. If you feel it uncomfortable doing child's pose on your knees, you can always lie on your side and do child's pose that way instead. So child is a nice soft pose called a pose of innocence. Just take a few deep breath and a gentle sigh as you just let go. Again, trying to breathe into the back of your body. And now slowly slide your hands down towards your shoulders and come up onto all fours for some cat-cows. We're going to create a little bit of movement here. So you can do your cat-cows like this, inhaling, exhaling, rounding through the spine. I'd say about shoulder width between your hands, hip width or wider between the knees and the feet. And if you want, add a little bit of movement, rotate into your shoulders, just intuitively moving through. You can always close your eyes and just feel what feels right for you in this movement, in this moment. Be mindful of your breath as well. Inhaling as you open up, exhaling as you compress into the front of the body. And then just come back onto all fours for a little bit of balancing here. So what you're going to do is keep your right hand and your left knee on the floor. Stretch your left arm forward and kick your right leg back. Engage a bit of your core strength. And I'd say focus, look on the floor. That way you keep the back of your neck straight. A little bit tricky sometimes here to keep the balance, to find the focus, to engage your core. Remember, the core is not just abdominal muscles, it's hip flexors, lower back. Good. Very slowly come back down. Take a few breaths, a few cat-cows here, a little bit of movement. Come back to all fours, and this time the other opposite. So right hand and left leg. Again, find your focus on the floor. Pull your belly button in and up. Balancing, and one side's always going to be a little harder than the other. We're all sort of got a dominant side. Couple more deep breaths here. Good. Come back down. Go back into child, but keep this a very active child. So what you can do is push your fingertips into the floor and stretch the arms. You can even put a block again here under your forehead if you want. This is quite an active child. You're getting a really nice deep stretch into the shoulders. And slowly come back up onto all fours. Move your props, your blocks. From all fours, we're going to go into a down dog. So take a nice deep inhalation. You can push your hips back towards the heels and then push back into down dog. And again in down dog, create a little bit of movement if you want. Move around a little bit. Move the hips. Maybe you want to lift up one leg at a time. Get a little bit of movement. Get a little bit of softness in the lower back, or stay and do a nice static down dog, working more on stretching into the back of the legs, hamstrings. Lots of fresh oxygenated blood now flowing down into your brains. Just a really nice, energizing pose. Bend your knees, walk your feet forward towards your hands and hang in ragdoll. So you can have about, I'd say maybe hip width apart between your feet. Whatever feels right for you. Grab your elbows if you want here. You can always keep your hands on the floor if that feels better for your lower back. Or maybe hands on a couple of blocks. Swing around a little bit if that feels good. Connect to your breath. Maybe wriggle your toes a little as well, rotating into the heels. So nice little intuitive somatic movement incorporated. Take an inhalation and come up slowly. So you can either curl all the way up or use your hands to come up Using the hands onto the thighs to come all the way up to standing, where we're going to start the warrior sequence. So make sure you're at the top of your mats here. Coming into mountain pose first of all. Mountain pose is just arms by your side, usually palms facing forward. Whatever you want to do with your feet, a little bit wider or hip width apart or feet together. I'll leave that up to you. And then just come back to your breath. Ground yourselves. Let your feet really, really root down into the floor. Connecting back to your breath. Personally, I find that when I move, when I create movement in my body, I find a bit of joy in there. So see if you might find that joy within today. And then maybe move around a little bit in your mountain. Maybe sway the shoulders, rotate the hips, keep the knees nice and soft. And we're going to start the warrior sequence. So step your left foot back all the way. Arms up. You can have your palms facing each other, palms facing forward. Any shoulder issues, you can always bring your hands to your chest. Warrior one. Bend the right knee and sort of sit down into your right thigh. Make sure that you do step wide enough. So if you notice the knee goes too far forward, wider step. I'd say usually knee just above the ankle. And feel a lightness in the upper body, almost like you can lift up towards the ceiling or the sky and push your feet actively into the floor. So lower body nice and strong. Deep breathing. Notice how your chest, rib cage, nice and open here. Take a nice deep inhalation, then exhale, warrior two. So I don't know if you notice in warrior two, I let my hip rotate open as it does naturally without doing anything specific. More important is that the knee stays above the thigh there. And then look forward, relax your wrists, soft shoulders, connect to your breath. We hold the poses just a little bit longer, so you really feel what's happening in the pose instead of just rushing through it. So being mindful here. And the next one is a reverse warrior. So take a nice inhalation, exhale, and bring your right arm up over your right ear. Now you can slide your left hand down the back of the thigh or bring it around to hug the back of your waist. And if you want to sit down a little bit deeper, do so. Opening up the whole rib cage here. Right side. You're feeling that you're sort of wobbling a little bit, that your balance isn't very good. Just separate between the heels. So you move one foot out a little more. So you've got some more space between the heels. There, balance is much better. Take a nice inhalation, exhale back, warrior two. You might even start to feel the legs wobbling a little bit now. The muscles are working there. Take a few breaths, settle in. Extended side angle pose. You bring your right elbow or arm onto the right thigh. Stretch your left arm up and over. And you can keep your head fairly neutral. If you want to look towards your fingers, you can. I tend to keep my head nice and neutral here. So bring the left arm up and over. So it's across your ear there. That's it, yeah. Now you get an opening down the whole left side of your body. Feet fully relaxed into the floor. Breathing nice and smooth. And to come out now, inhale, sweep your left arm up and out. Come back to warrior two. So what we're going to do here, for about a minute, I'm going to let you flow at your own pace. So remember the three poses. You go back, a couple of breaths here as long as you want. You come back to warrior two, a couple of breaths. Extended side angle, a couple of breaths. You can have 2 breaths, 5 breaths, it's up to you. Okay, so slowly start. 1 minute of flowing. Yeah. It's a really nice way to activate and wake up the whole body. This is my morning routine. Remember to connect your breath to each movement. You can move at a slower pace than I am if you want. And then when you next come into Warrior Two, just stop there. How'd that feel? It's nice movement, isn't it? It gets your heart, lungs, everything working, and you can do it as slow as you want. Now from here we're going to Trikonasana triangle pose. So you might want to bring your blocks. I'm going to put my block here on the inside. You don't have to, but it's nice to have it there. Put your hand on. Slowly straighten out your right leg. Remember, never jam the knees back. You can keep the knees slightly soft, but engage your thigh muscles. Take a nice deep stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch all the way to the right. When you can't stretch anymore, move your arms. I'm bringing my hand onto a block and then stretching the left arm up. Head in neutral, or you can look up. Now, if you have any shoulder issues, you can keep your upper arm on the hip instead. And you can also just grab between your ankle and shin, or you can come down and bring your hand onto the floor. Breathing nice and smooth. Try to open up between the shoulders. Now, to come out, push your feet into the floor. You can bring your left hand back onto the hip and use your right foot to slowly come back out. Take a few breaths here. Pyramid pose is next. Turn your left hip slightly more forward, so you've got your hips a little bit more aligned. Bring your hands behind you. Now what you can do is either grab the arms. You can, if you want, bring your hands into prayer, but most people have really achy wrists and find it hard, so I leave it up to you which way you want to do it. Tuck your left hip forward, take a nice deep inhalation, exhale, push the feet into the floor and come down into pyramid. So pull your belly button in and up, activating your core again, creating lots and lots of triangles with your body. Breathing. Couple more deep breaths here. It's a nice strong pose. Push your feet into the floor. Inhale, come out. Relax the arms down, maybe give your wrists a little bit of a shake if you want. And then turn to the sides. So for you, it'll be that side there, Laura. Yeah. Okay, for here we're going to do Prasarita. So open your feet quite nice and wide. If you want to use blocks, you can have them accessible for you there. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, hinge forward from the creases in your hips. If you're using blocks, put them on the floor, whichever way you want, or you can bring your hands onto the floor. Some people like to go ahead and grab the heels. You can do that as well if you want to. I'm trying to activate this nice stretch in the lower back and the back of your thighs. Again, soft knees, strong thighs. Now keep your right hand either on the floor or on the block. Inhale and twist by lifting your left arm up. Left hand down. Take a few breaths. Inhale, right arm up. You can almost feel this twist into your inner thighs as well. Right hand down. Come back to your breath. Prepare to come out. Inhale, push your feet into the floor, come up. Now we're just go into goddess pose. So turn your right foot out and make sure you turn the knee as well. Turn the left foot out, turn the knee as well. Bring most of the weight into your heels and tuck your hips slightly forward, and you can engage your abdominal part of the core and then come down into goddess. Now do what you want with your arms, whichever goddess you want to be. Use your imagination. Last week everyone was doing the same goddess. I make them all change it. So whatever you want to do, you can even create a little bit of movement if you want to. Just make sure you look after your knees so there's no pressure on the knees. And if you want, you can lift up one foot onto the toes, maybe try the other, maybe do both. Activating into the joints of the toes in your feet as well. Play around a little bit with the movement. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Now turn your right foot in, left foot in. Good. And then come back to the top of your mats. I'm going to turn this way, but you stay at the top of your mats. We're going to do the same pose the other side. So inhale, and this time right foot back. Warrior 1. See what you want to do with your arms, hands. Focus on your breath. Strong back leg, strong inner thighs. Big opening into the chest, rib cage. And turn inward. We're always doing everything externally. Go inside your body and sense how you feel. Body breath, how do you feel today? Couple more deep breaths here. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So again, you might need to reposition your feet a little bit. Make sure you're not sort of overcompensating going forward. You want to keep a slight balance. Wrists relax, palms facing down. Look forward beyond your left fingers. Find your drishti. And slowly reverse. Keep your lower body nice and strong as you slowly inhale, exhale back to Warrior 2. Take a few breaths. Try to check in with your shoulders because they might have tensed up during the poses. So soften your shoulders and extended side angle. Bring the right arm up and over, stretching down the right rib cage, hip, thigh, IT band. And reverse out nice and slow. Back to Warrior 2. Take a few breaths. And now time for the 1 minute flow. So you work at your own pace. Okay, go ahead and start. Breathing with every movement. Deep, nice, soft flow, almost there. Now come back to Warrior Two. Check in with yourselves again. See how you feel. How do your thighs feel? I know my back thigh is shaking now. Yours okay there, Laura? It's good. It's nice for strengthening. Trikonasana. Triangle. Straighten your left leg. Again, use your block here if you want. Try to create a nice deep stretch towards the left side so you really feel the stretch move along. And then move your arms. Floor, shin, block. Prepare to come out nice and slow. You can always look at the floor, bring your right hand onto the right hip. Come out slowly. Pyramid pose. Tuck your right hip forward. You might have to adjust the back foot and sort of turn it inward. Either hands in prayer behind you or go for your forearms here. Take a nice deep inhalation. Open your chest. Exhale. Pyramid. You can, of course, go a little bit further forward if you want to, but I'm just thinking about creating the triangles here. Deep breathing, engaging your core. Got about 10 seconds here. So you really want to let your feet relax into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Inhale to come out. Release your arms. Give them a good shake. Bring your foot forward. Give everything a nice good shake here. You work very mindfully in connecting the breath as well. So have a little rest. You're welcome to get into child if you want, or seated. Going to have about 2 minutes of rest. Have some water if you want, a little bit of a rest in between. The rest is quite important in between the movement. Rest and digest, so your body digests all the benefits. Back to your breath. Connect back to your breath. Deep, slow, smooth breathing. And very slowly now, prepare to come up. Come up slowly onto all fours. And a little bit of movement again, and just sense what your body has been doing. Sort of go into your body again and create a nice little sort of communication using your breath. Check in. How do your hips feel? How do your shoulders feel? How does your mind feel? Take a nice inhalation, push back into a down dog again. We're just going to do a little bit of balancing. So just a couple more standing poses coming up here. So again, movement into your down dog if you want. It's a nice way to transition from the floor up to standing. Bend your knees, walk your feet forward. Hang out in a little bit of a ragdoll. If you want to use blocks here, do so. Want to create a little bit of movement in your hips, rotating around. And very slow. Inhale to come up, nice and slow. You're going to start balancing very simply with a simple tree. So tree pose is your balance pose. If you want, you can go near a wall or grab a chair and keep it near you if you sometimes think your balance isn't that good. Balance is not something that comes natural to us, something we have to learn from when we're little, from when we're small babies. We have to learn to crawl, to walk, balance on your bike, and then it's fine, and then it goes downhill again when you start aging. So we need to keep the balance going. Okay, so start with tree. Laura, do you practice Bikram? Because you're welcome to the Bikram tree. The Bikram tree is this one, I'll show you. That's the Bikram tree. You can do that one. You can do more Vinyasa style one if you want here, or keep the foot up higher here if you want. If you find it really hard, you can always start here. Okay, so go ahead and balance. And again, you can create any movement you want. Maybe a slight twisted tree. And now right towards the end, if you want to, close your eyes. Oh, come on out, give everything a nice little shake and do the other side. So again, optional, whichever one you want to do, wherever you want to have your foot. I would say try to avoid bringing the foot onto the inside of the knee, just because you might put a little bit of pressure there. So do that on the thigh or the shin. And remember to work on the standing foot. That's the most important part. And bring your breath into the balance as well. Woo! If you're swaying around a little bit, so what? Some days balance is good, some days it's not. But by practicing on your balance, you will sort of keep it going a little bit longer into the later bit of life. And again, just gently close your eyes if you want to. Good, and very slowly come on out, give everything a good shake. So try and do some kind of balance exercise every day if you can. Let's get on the floor now for the rest of class. We're going to start with crocodile, which is a nice resting pose. Just a minute here to just rest and digest again. So you can bring your forehead onto your hands like this. You can have your head to the side if you want. Relax your lower body totally. Breathe into the back of your body. We're going to start with a spine strengthening series, and the first one is Cobra pose. So I'm going to give you a couple of options for Cobra. If you have any lower back issues, I'd say do this one. This is sort of more like a Sphinx style Cobra. This is a little bit more soothing for the lower back. You can always bring your hands a little bit lower here and come up to halfway, or you can open up your hands and come up to a little bit deeper full Cobra there. So see what works for you. Come into whichever Cobra you want to. So I'm in a half sort of way one here, working on the lower back, trying to relax the lower back. Let the lower back muscles relax. They will still work, but avoid activating them. Just let them do their own sort of thing here, slight compression. And then come on down, bring your forehead onto the floor, a little bit of a rest. And then a wider, deeper one if you want to. Or stay in the low Cobra. Again, come on down, have a little rest. I'm going to do one more round, and in this one I'm going to go into the Sphinx variation. So one more, come on up. So all three I've tried. And then come down, again crocodile, a little bit of rest, working into this whole of the back. And the next one is airplane. So bring your arms down by the side. You can keep your feet together if you want to, or you can separate the feet. That's totally up to you. Inhale and slowly lift everything up off the floor. Head, legs, arms, chest. Any issues with your neck, just bring your gaze down towards the floor. If your neck feels okay, maybe look gently forward. You can lift up the feet a little bit more, lift up the arms a little bit more. It's up to you. Keep your breathing nice and smooth. Lift up 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And then slowly, gently come back up. You can push up into child, stretch. That feels really good to stretch into the lower back. So another active child. And then come to seated for a little bit of work into the hips. I'm going to sit on a block here. One of the best ways to sort of activate and get a bit of softness and opening into the hips is a pose called Rock the Baby. So rock the baby, you can either hook your elbows around your knee and your foot. You can hold it with your hands if that feels better for you, like this further away. And then just slowly rock away, shoulders relaxed. So try and keep your foot fairly straight there. So, otherwise, so if you activate the toes, that's better. Otherwise, you're going to be twisting into there. And then move around, get some movement into your hips. Very good if you've been sitting all day. And then stretch your right leg out. Janisharasana, put your left foot down. Couple of options here. You can either bend the right knee and bring your forward onto the knee, or you can just round through the spine. Come up slowly. Bring both feet close to your body for cobbler pose. If you want, give your feet a little massage there and then hinge slowly forward. Be nice and gentle here, especially with your inner thighs. Soft shoulders. Inhale, come out. Rock the baby on this side. So you bring the left leg up. You can hook either elbows or hold a foot and rock, rock, rock. Get some movement into your hip. Yeah, just look after your knee. Make sure the knee is nicely supported. You're holding onto the foot. Feels nice in the lower back as well. And Janisharasana, stretch your left leg forward. Come down, either bend the knee or just sort of round through the spine. And slowly come on out. Straddle, really nice stretch for the inner thighs. So the inner thighs worked quite a lot in the warrior sequence, so it's nice to get them to stretch. If you feel any pressure behind the knee, for instance, you've got a bit of hypermobility, maybe a little bit of support, I'll leave that up to you. Gentle flexion of the toes and then slowly come forward. So you can use your props here if you wanted to come forward. And that feels really, really nice in the inner thighs. They're getting a stretch. Remember, it's not about the depth of the pose. You don't have to be aiming to get your face flat on the floor or the body. Listen to your body and let your body do what feels right for it. That's the way you want to practice. So you're sort of with the smartness and the intuitivity of your own body, not what a photograph of Instagram is showing you. Again, relaxed shoulders, relaxed breath. And slowly, gently come on out. So it's quite a deep stretch for your inner thighs. Just take it nice and slow. Nice and slow. Paschimottanasana. Stretch the legs out in front of you. You can come forward like this. Again, let your back decide what you want to do. You can go a little bit deeper. Again, you might want to use props for a little bit of support to come forward. Maybe grab your toes. And slowly come out from this one. So just one more active pose, and then we're going to start slowing things down. You feeling okay? Good? Excellent. So boat pose, Navasana. You can have a block near you if you want. You can always use a wall if you want in boat. So I'll show you boat pose. You just want to come onto, so you can feel your sit bones here. I always start like this. I just start by lifting the feet up. If you have any lower back issues, you might want to keep one foot on the floor throughout the pose, or you can lift both of them up. You can stretch your arms out. You can bring a block between your thighs if you want to. You can even create a little bit of a twist if you want. If you notice you're rolling too far into the tailbone, then come out and start again. Okay, so we'll do quite a long held one here. Engaging your core. Shoulders relaxed, chest sort of lifted, breathing nice and smooth. You can create some movement if you want. Keep breathing. Got another 15 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now give your knees a nice big hug. Roll back down, roll around a little bit if that feels good. Giving them a nice hug. And just go into a gentle happy baby now. You can grab your feet, grab your ankles if you've got longer legs and arms. Roll around a little bit. Get the blood flowing from your feet down into your hips, thighs. Flex your feet, move your toes a bit. A really nice, healthy pose, good for your legs, your whole lower body, good for your heart, your digestive system, getting all that blood flowing back down. And then give your knees a nice big hug again. Push your feet into the floor. Grab the flatter block, or you can put a blanket or a book or something underneath if you're doing this at home. Lift your hips up and then go into a nice supported bridge. Open up the arms. Stretch your feet, chest nice and open, breathing nice and smooth. Close your eyes if you want. Let your body start to go into rest mode whilst you're in this back bend. And again, go back to listening to your breath. Listen to the deep inhalation, the gentle exhalation. And then very gently just bend the knees. Push your feet into the floor. Lift your hips and remove whatever you place there. Exhale as you slowly bring the lower back down. And now settle in, relax, close your eyes. Lie any way that you want. This is your special time when you just get to relax. So gently connect back with your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. As you bring your awareness to your face, relax your face, cheeks, jaw, eyes, eyebrows and forehead. Whole head just relaxed. Breathe into your shoulders, right arm, left arm, all the way down through to the fingers. Send the breath down through your spine, the whole back of your body now, at ease. Abdomen, chest, rib cage. Right leg, all the way down through to the toes. Left leg, all the way down through to your toes. Whole body just relaxed here. Whole body relaxed, at ease. And just connect back to your breath now, your breathing. Do a gentle body scan your cells, just again checking in with your cells. See how you feel. See how you feel physically, but also how you feel mentally and emotionally. I mentioned earlier on that movement for me personally brings joy into my mind and body, and hopefully movement and rest maybe does that for you as well. Just that sensation of being able to move around and create shapes with your body, and then to get time to rest. So maybe start to create a little bit of movement. Maybe move your fingers and your toes. If you want to move your jaw a few times. Yawn if that feels good. Stretch. Maybe a nice big sigh. That kind of movement you want to create, when you wake up in the morning, when you start to stretch, or if you've had a nap, or if you've been sitting hunched over a computer. It's called pandiculation, and it's something that not only humans do. I mean, animals, you'll see cats and dogs are constantly stretching and moving. Any animal with a spine does it, including us. So it's a really healthy thing to do, just to stretch, move, yawn, whatever feels good. Your body will let you know what it wants to do. And then if you feel ready to, you can roll over onto your side, or you can stay and have a longer shavasana on the floor. If you feel ready to come up to seated, you can, or stay lingering on the floor, relaxing there. It's nice to slowly, step by step, come out from rest. A nice way to re-energize, if you want to, is rub the palms of your hands together quite vigorously, and then you can literally feel your own energy there. Some days out here, some days here. And then you can cup them over your eyes, your cheeks, your shoulders, wherever you feel you need a little bit of your own warmth and energy. Connect back, get your mind and body all working together again, mind, body and breath. Whatever you are doing for the rest of the evening, the rest of the weekend, enjoy the sunshine. And thank you for those of you at home for joining in. And thank you for those of you here.